Today I'm going to be breaking down YAYO by Rema, where as usual I'm going to be talking you through the various elements that I'm picking up on as we go through it. Alright guys, so listen, I've got another challenge for you. Now for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, in my breakdown of Metaverse by Olamide, I set a challenge which actually I thought was quite difficult, although a few people have proved me wrong. Now what I want to do is, where possible, I want to set these challenges on the videos going forward, just because I think it mixes things up a little bit and it's not just me sitting here just kind of breaking down, you know, element by element. Now with this one, it is a little bit more trickier, at least I think it's a little bit more trickier, and I'm going to give you 3 clues to kind of just give you a little bit of guidance or kind of a starting point. So the first one is that all 3 changes happen in the second verse. The second clue is that they're all around the drums and the percussions. And then the third clue is that the first shift that happens when the second verse first drops in, and then the final 2 shifts happen after 125, just after the drop or the kind of transition that we get within the track. Now, if you can identify what those 3 changes are, or even if you can just identify 2, drop me something down in the comments below. All right, that's it. Headphones on. Let's get into some new music.
Forget it, Fugazi. Lambo now, cause me a Richard Millie, the same week. I got me a new khaki. All the girl them love me, what I feeling, I am shining, they come and icy. What I no get enemy, but they hating on my water Fiji. Early more money, I did bomb. I take a shot on it, I keep.
Okay, right, we're going to pause it there because we have leaked over into the pre-chorus. So let's talk about the intro. Let's talk about the first verse. Okay, so let's cover off a couple of key things before we get deeper into the intro. So firstly, it's 8 bars long, so it's average length. And we also have a moderate tempo here that sits at around 118 BPM. But what's particularly interesting to me are the time signatures within the drums. So here's what I mean. If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, obviously in time with the rhythm, you'll notice that it fits into a 4/4 time signature. But what you can also do is, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you'll also notice that that fits in there as well, which actually is a 6/8 time signature. So you essentially have 2 different time signatures within the mix simultaneously. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I am not an expert on time signatures, but it appears to me that we have the 4/4 time signature, which is being provided by the kick drum, and then we have the 6/8 time signature, which is being provided by the percussions. Now, whilst we're on the subject of the drums, what you'll also notice is that we get this dun dun dun, and that comes in on the first beat of every bar. Also in the mix, we have this really prevalent sound, this do 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 do, and that's in there from the get-go. And then we get to around sort of 7 seconds ish, and what we can hear is what sounds like a synth slowly fading into the mix. Moving on to the first verse, and the first thing that we notice here is that that prevalent sound from the intro, that do 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 do, that gets removed from the mix. We've still got the synth in there, or at least what we're calling the synth, but we also get this deep lengthy bass that's introduced in this first verse. And then the final thing to pay attention to, Rema's vocals. Really like the flow, really like the delivery, but listen out for the back end phrases, because you'll notice that they are being layered, but they're also being heavily reverbed. So let's go back, let's listen. Right, whooshes. There's that prevalent sound. Here's the synth coming in. Try and count the time signatures of the beat. Bass in. Back end phrases. Layered. Reverb. Pre-chorus. Strings bang. Right, chorus. Okay, right, we are going to pause it there. Let's cover off the pre-chorus. Let's cover off the chorus. Okay, so there's only a couple of things to cover off in the pre-chorus. The first one, absolutely love the fact that they brought those strings into the mix, because not only does it make it sound richer, but it also makes it more dynamic as well. Second thing, pay attention to the cut that we get in the bass when the pre-chorus first drops. It's only there for a short period, but it's enough just to break up the track that little bit, especially as we didn't get a transition. If you go back to the first verse, you'll notice that actually the drums, they just roll over into the pre-chorus. We get nothing, we get no cuts or anything like that. So having that shortcut in the bass just helps to break that up. Moving on to the chorus, and I really like the shift or the switch up that we get in Rema's flow here, because it really helps to uplift the energy within this chorus. But also pay attention to the rhyming scheme. You'll notice that every line ends with the O sound, which helps to make the lyrics much more catchy, much more memorable. Strings, they get carried over into the chorus, but what you will notice is that actually here they begin to get harmonized in places, which is something that we didn't get in the pre-chorus. And then the final thing to pay attention to is what happens at 101. We begin to get this sound come in from the right hand side. Now, I don't know what the sound is because it's not sitting at the forefront, so it's hard to hear, but if you listen out for it, you'll definitely be able to hear it. So let's go back, let's listen. Pre-chorus coming in. Strings. Transition. Chorus. Harmonized strings there. There's that additional sound from the right. Fire. I get too many facility. I'm on the lean, I yes, purity. Shamaya all night, then wake up, body beats up, and no be let me sleep. Now I the only see early morning, I did born, I did got on in. All right, we're going to stop it there for the last time. Let's cover off the second verse, and then we can go ahead. We can see the rest of the track out. So the first thing here is to actually give you a gentle reminder of the challenge that I set you at the start of the video, because it's here in this second verse that those subtle changes to the drums actually take place. 117, pay attention to the string that comes in from the right hand side, and again at 123 when it comes in from the left hand side. Absolutely bangs. 120ish we start to get a riser being brought into the mix, but pay attention to what happens after the drop. So the drop, it lands at about 125. Boom, we get this prominent snare that comes into the mix, and we also get a log drum in there as well. And then we get to around 130-ish, and we start to hear that intro sound, that do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. That's being faded into the track, and then as we progress on through that second verse, it becomes firmly in the mix. And that's it. Let's go back, let's listen, Let's see the rest of the track out. There's that first string. Second one coming in. There. Snaring. Log drum. Strings back in the mix. Harmonise as well. And just quickly on this final chorus, notice that on the back end kind of O sound, we actually get another layer from Rema where actually he just extends it slightly on that layer, which is something different to what we had in the first chorus. I'll just go back one or two, right? Just pay attention to it. It happens on the O sound, right? So it should be easy for you to hear. Let's go back. There. Again. Outro. Okay, that's it from me. If you want to see more breakdown and analyses videos, everything's popping up on the screen right now. Other than that, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I will see you in the next one.